All right. The first round of the playoffs are over. They have come and gone. I thought they were pretty boring. Garrett, give me your thoughts.
Yeah, I would wholeheartedly agree with that. I mean, honestly, the most embarrassing game was the Tennessee game. That was just awful.
That was my favorite one.
I mean, yeah, it was awesome to watch Ohio State play that well, but Tennessee, you are an abomination to the SEC.
Put your
Get
shirt
on your
on, dude.
train. Neyland North, like y'all talked all this shit,
North.
only scored 17 points.
Neyland North is funny. I'm sorry. But yeah, if you're going to talk all that, then you got to put your shirt on and back it up.
1000%.
But the Tennessee Trolls are hilarious. I mean,
They're so
like I give them
funny.
that.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean,
But yeah,
Indiana kind of came back, or they scored at the last minute to make that game look a lot closer than it was. But we talked about this last week that it should have just been an 8-team playoff as opposed to a 12-team playoff. And, there are never really 12 teams worthy of competing for a national title. And it sucks, but it's true.
and that was on full display last week when we all had to waste our Saturdays sitting and watching that. The expansion is great for inclusivity, but this is what you get. It's not very interesting. So I think, like you mentioned, an 18 playoff would, be a little more entertaining, I think.
It would. It would have alleviated a lot.
I'm in favor of the 18 playoff. I was not an expansionist. I didn't really care either way. But that was just not, there were no upsets, like nothing.
I've always been a fan of expanding it just because I want more football, but like that it was like watching your team play a like tiny little school at the beginning of the season where it was just kind of like, okay, well, we all know we're going to win this game, so what's the point?
Here you go. Yeah, our fans will just show up and it'll be fine. That's funny that you didn't like the Tennessee Ohio State game. We'll definitely get into that.
Will Howard, I have not seen a quarterback play that well in so long. He only
was
had
on
4
fire.
incomplete passes that entire game.
He was on fire. Ohio State handled Tennessee 42-17. Like Tennessee just couldn't get it going. Nico Iamaleava had like 3.4 yards per throw.
I don't think he's been that good. I don't think he's been that good at all. Oh, hang on, my
like
pawpaw's
he's just
calling.
gone. What?
This always makes me nervous when my pawpaw calls. He never calls.
Oh, it's for Papa.
Hey, Pawpaw. We had a great time. I'm recording the podcast, so can I call you back after? I'm good. I just wanted to make sure none of y'all were dead.
Wait, does he have a Twitter? We'll like tag his @
Okay, good. Then I'll call you after.
I love Pop Pop.
Okay, I love you too. Bye.
How old is your grandfather? What do you think?
78.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just spent the day with his wife, my mom's parents, and I love my pawpaw so much, but like Pawpaw and I, we don't call all that often. So whenever Pawpaw calls, I get very nervous that someone's dead.
I understand. Yeah, it's like this must be an emergency.
Yes, it's either that, I like worry about that, but it's almost always a technology issue.
I would also call you for technology issue. But I get the same way. When my mom calls me like during the work week, I'm like, oh no, like something is wrong.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, it's good. But yeah, if Ohio State continues to play like they did against Tennessee, I think that they're the national championship or the national champion. I originally had them at the beginning of the season as my winner takes all. And then I kind of lost confidence in them throughout the season, and then especially after the ugly Michigan loss. But if they continue to play like we saw last Saturday, I don't see anyone beating them.
But that's the thing with Ohio State and why I think, you were amongst a small minority that's picked them to win it all. You never know what team's going to show up. And, Tennessee, exact same way. They lost to Arkansas in the season. They completely laid a goose egg against us. you never know what team's going to show up. I don't think there's been anybody that's been consistent enough outside of Oregon for me to be like, oh yeah, they're the clear favorite.
We'll see, because Ohio State and Oregon have the rematch. The only reason Oregon won last time was because Dan Lanning outcoached Ryan Day. They both played well, and then that very end, the 12th man penalty, where the 5 seconds or whatever it was got added back onto the clock, or got taken away.
Yep.
And now the NCAA has changed that rule so that the time cannot be taken away. The time's added back to the clock. So that was interesting. The Dan Lanning's post game interview where he's like, "Yeah, that was intentional."
Yeah.
was
And
so
hey, you know what? Good on him. Like, good job.
Yeah. No, he was a brilliant coach in that game. He knew what he was doing. I think he had mentioned, you don't get a lot of opportunities to do things like that, but the opportunity arose and we took advantage of it. But I think Ryan Day is going to come in with a chip on his shoulder. Ohio State does have the playmaker, so if they can get it together and perform like they just did, I don't think they'll have a problem.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't think there are going to be too many surprises this week. I think that Texas and Penn State are going to handle both of their opponents easily. We can get into Georgia Notre Dame later because I have a lot of thoughts and opinions on the broadcast coverage so far. Yeah, I mean, I love Dan Lanning. I love the Ducks. I think that this is probably Dan's biggest game of his career.
For sure.
I really think that Ohio State's going to walk away with this. It's hard to beat a good team twice. I would love for Oregon to pull it through because I think that we've got a better shot of beating Oregon in the national championship than we do Ohio State. But I think that Ohio State's probably going to pull it off. Will Howard absolutely killed it last weekend, and I was in shock at how good he is.
He certainly performed great. He's a 73% passer, and so is Dylan Gabriel. But Gabriel is the most experienced. Sorry, my light is going crazy. Is the most experienced player in college football. He has been around for 6 seasons. So, it's time for him to.
We had a Miami player yesterday do his curtain call after 9 years in college football.
Wait, what?
Oh yeah, did you not see that?
No.
Oh yeah, a Miami player had played 9 seasons of college football, and last night was his curtain call, and they lost to Iowa State.
Oh, then my Dylan Gabriel stat is wrong then, because Dylan Gabriel's only been here since 2019, and he's 6 seasons. So.
I think that this Miami guy, he probably was JUCO before he was NCAA. Because I don't think you can play 9 straight seasons.
I don't know how that works, but the JUCO rule just didn't started. That rule just was implemented to not count against your eligibility, like the other day with Diego Pavia, because he sued the NCAA or whatever that was. I don't know. That's interesting. We'll have to look that up.
Yeah, my brother said that that's not going to set a precedent. I don't agree with him on that. I think that this does set a precedent for JUCO players in the future.
I think that with this new JUCO rule, and all of the NIL and the collective and everything that's going on, that teams are going to start having like smaller schools like JUCOs. Since it's not going to count against you, they're going to have like farm teams, just kind of like the minor leagues, and so they'll go whenever they need a new tight end. Who do we got over here? I think that's kind of where we're headed.
And that's unfortunate because high school recruiting is so important. And that's how Kirby has built the dynasty that he's built since he started at Georgia, is through that high school recruiting and building those relationships. I think that that'd be very unfortunate to have these JUCOs kind of be like the farm teams for these collegiate teams. That would stink because I love watching a kid's high school career go to something big. We've got some guys at Wesleyan, which is T90 little private school, that are going D1. We've got 2 guys in the NFL. Like, it's awesome to have watched their careers go from being these little high school guys to now playing at the top level. I think that it'd be sad to see those kind of stories go away.
And I hope that we do still see some of those, but I'm thinking it's going to get cut down in half, right? Because there's only a certain number of slots. And I mean, the transfer portal just kind of changes all of that.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about the calls for a commissioner of college football?
Well, before a few weeks ago, I would have said just put Sankey in charge.
Oh, well, he still hasn't congratulated the dogs. We can start that off.
But yeah, he's probably not Georgia's biggest fan, so I'm not sure if I want him to be in charge of everything, which he already is, because I mean the SEC is the biggest man on campus. I don't know. I feel like
Saban would be excellent.
He would.
I do. I think that he'd be great. James Franklin came out and said that today. There was a news article in ESPN about it. I think that Saban would do an excellent job.
I think anything he touches or puts his mind to is going to turn to gold. So I think that if he wanted to do that, he probably does, honestly, because I think that he likes the power.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, my lighting just got. Did you see that?
Oh, no, it's okay. Yeah, mine's being a little funky too. It's like the after Christmas, like, sorry, everyone, we're struggling.
Yeah, like, hey.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like that. Okay, that didn't work. It's okay. It'll all work out in the end.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It's okay.
Yeah, we're showing everybody the wallpaper this week.
I love the wallpaper. It's beautiful. I think you should keep it.
Oh, yes. No, she's sticking around. Amazon, $35 a roll. Then it took like 3 rolls for this wall.
No, I meant as opposed to the Georgia background.
Oh, yeah. No, I think so too. Because especially as we're trying to like branch out into more than just Georgia. Also, have you searched our podcast on YouTube?
Oh no. Why? What comes up?
The testicles talk. I punch him in the nuts as hard as I could. A woman's perspective on testicles, tips to play with your husband's balls, zapping balls, CBT kink, femdom, benefits of castration.
If any of you are listening, waiting for us to talk about testicles, it's not going to happen. So I'm so sorry.
That's not the kind of podcast operation that we run over here.
This is not the right. Oh no, that's not good to rebrand.
If you Google us, it's another podcast, Girls Talk Balls, and it's a soccer podcast, and it's us. So if you Google us, we're fine. And if you search Girls Talk Ball podcast on YouTube, we're the first thing that comes up. But like, just don't search Girls Talk Ball on YouTube unless you want to learn a lot about ball busting.
Just don't click on the link. Message us for the link. We'll send it to you. Oh no. We didn't do a lot of research when we named our podcast.
No, we didn't. But there's still time for a rebrand.
Let's go Texas, Arizona State.
I think that Texas is going to win this game by like 40. I don't think it's going to be close whatsoever.
Well, they're favored by 13.5.
Yeah.
Texas beat Clemson 38-24. That was another one that was not very exciting. Clemson only had 76 rushing yards,
and the Texas just ran away with it.
Yeah. I don't know. I gave up. I was so not interested in these games.
They just, I mean, I watched all of them so that I would have stuff to talk about this week, but they just,
I watched them, but when I was like, okay, this is not very exciting. You know, I was like in and out. I'm like, I'm going to go do some laundry. Let me go get this. But Texas won, and they move on to play Ohio State, the winner of the Big 12, who got the first round bye. So they will be at the Peach Bowl New Year's Day for their second meeting ever. Texas and Arizona State first met in 2007, and Texas won that one. I think that will happen again. I agree with Garrett.
Yeah, Texas's D line is just too good, and I hate to say this because I sound very like conference elitist, but like this is the Big 12 champion. The Big 12 isn't exactly known for dominating football,
right?
So yeah, no, I don't think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be an absolute blowout. Now, Penn State, Boise State. I actually could totally see Boise State winning that game. I know that Penn State is favored by a lot, but I think that if Genty can figure out a way to outsmart their run D, I don't think that they'll have an issue with it.
Well, that's kind of it, right? It's going to be Ashton Genty versus the run defense. But Penn State's run defense ranks 7th nationally. They're going to have to load the box to stop him. But he only needs 132 yards to break Barry Sanders' record, so that's pretty cool.
I think he's going to get it.
Oh, for sure. He's averaging like 196 or something a game anyway, so he should get that no problem. But I don't know. Penn State is a pretty complete team, so I do think that Boise State might have a difficult time because it's really just Ashton Genty is the focus of their offense, right? They've got the sophomore quarterback, Maddox Madsen. He's a 62% passer, but they don't have any like star receivers or anything like that. And Penn State does have the players. They've got Tyler Warren, the senior tight end. He's got over 1,000 yards.
I think that Boise State could do it. James Franklin does have a tendency to choke when it matters the most in terms of his coaching, even though his team is good. You know, there's always that off chance that something could happen. I've got Penn State winning in my bracket. I've got Georgia playing Penn State next round, but I don't know. I could see it happening. I think if Genty finds a way to outsmart that defense, then they'll be fine. I don't know. I don't really watch Penn State closely enough to be able to have too many thoughts on it all.
Well, they have a good run game too. Nicholas Singleton, one of their running backs, has 928 yards. Katron Allen has 892. I'm taking the Nittany Lions. I want to talk about the Sam Levitt and Quinn Ewers drama.
Ooh, what's happening there?
Quarterback has come out and said publicly that he is the better quarterback and he is ready to prove it. Like, I feel like this is an episode of One Tree Hill and we're like fighting at the river court. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, Chad Michael Murray, where are you at?
Like, James Lafferty all day long. I'm sorry, Garrett. I will die on that hill.
I actually have never watched One Tree Hill, and it's one that I really want to watch.
That was my favorite show in like high school and college, and I used to have like the box DVD set.
Oh, you're kidding. Well, I just watched Gossip Girl for the first time last year.
Oh, Gossip Girl is good too.
But no, Chad Michael Murray in A Cinderella Story, he's a marvelous specimen of a human being. I could stare at that man for hours.
No, if you don't fall in love with Nathan Scott after watching One Tree Hill, watch a couple episodes and call me.
Okay, absolutely, I will.
Oh my gosh, I had a crush on him forever, and he's like aging like a fine wine. Some pictures of him came out recently, and he's like got his shirt off, and he's got a 12-pack, and he's got like the salt and pepper beard.
Oh, so like Patrick Dempsey, but younger.
Yeah. He's good to look at.
He as people's sexiest man of the year.
Who got it?
John Krasinski. Like taste. I bought both of the issues. So
she put the poster on her wall.
I have loved John Krasinski since the first time I saw The Office. Oh, he's just like that adorkable kind of just like
yeah, he's like a dweeb. But when he dresses up, he cleans up nice. I'll give you that. But I have to tell you that I've never seen one episode of The Office. I know.
Okay, that's my One Tree Hill. I have seen the show start to finish no less than 20 times.
I've just literally never, like, I have nothing against it. I've just never watched it. So maybe we'll turn it on.
It is one of the funniest shows ever. I love that show so much. I watched the Colorado BYU game last night, and I am back on Travis Hunter as a human is fine. I do not understand the hype around Colorado whatsoever. I do not get
Deion effect.
That, and you know what? I get Deion. He is one of the greatest athletes of all time. Like, you play that long in the NFL and then go play 9 seasons in the MLB. Like, he's an insanely good athlete. I totally get the hype around Deion Sanders. but the way that they were talking about this Colorado team on the broadcast last night, you would have thought that Colorado was winning by 50 points. BYU smacked the shit out of them. Like, it was a beat down. It was bad. And the entire time they were like, oh my, and like, look at how well Shadur Sanders loses. And like, Travis and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, y'all, literally look at how well BYU is playing. Like, say something positive. And at one point in the broadcast, they said that one of the BYU players had like made a little offhanded comment of like, hey, will y'all talk about us just a little bit, please? And he was like, well, I'm sure the people in Provo, Utah would love to hear us talk all about BYU, but Colorado. It's like, oh
Oh, that's so
my
tacky.
God. It was the most abysmal broadcasting I've ever seen.
They're probably scared to say anything negative against Colorado because Coach Prime will kick him out of the room.
And
No,
it's,
he'll be allowed to in the post game for questions.
Colorado is just, they're a very average team to me. Like, they're very average. They are 3-3 against the 6 teams they played this season with a winning record.
I think it's all of the like shine, right? It's like the confidence. It's like the swag that Colorado brings, and it's all goes back to Dion. I'm not a Dion hater. I actually love him because of course he brought the chop to the Braves.
Yeah.
So I forever love Dion. But even though they don't play the song anymore and it's not as fun.
It's not as special.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it rubbed me the wrong way. But Colorado's not that good. I don't understand why they're ESPN's baby. I get Dion because he's nuts and it's cool that he's coaching his son. And dad said, yep, exactly. There will definitely be some clips circulating on Twitter.
I'll have to look. I don't know. He's flashy, but I am surprised that they handled it in that way. And just weren't there are 2 teams playing. So like
Yes.
you have to acknowledge the other team. That's kind of weird, especially when the other team wins. That's pretty odd.
Is it Shadur or Shador?
I
I've
think
heard
it's
both.
Shador, but if you hear Coach Prime say it, it kind of sounds like Shadur.
Okay. Well, then
But
I sincerely apologize to Coach Prime. Please don't show up at my house and kill me. Um,
well, actually, I guess we should say it like his dad says it, so I don't
yeah,
know.
I
Either one's
am saying
probably
it wrong. I sincerely apologize to. Okay, well, Hunter caught 106 yards, 4 passes for 106 yards. Just wasn't
Mhm.
anything. I think he had 1 interception. And like, I mean, there was one play where BYU ran it in, and you literally see him like grabbing onto this guy's waist, and this guy is just still running, and he's trying to dig his feet in. And I'm like, okay, well, make the tackle, dude. Heisman winner.
Yeah. He is kind of small.
He is. He's tiny. I didn't realize how
Yeah.
tiny he was. Have you seen all the drama with his girlfriend?
Yeah, I have. I actually really like that. I love all the drama that goes with college football. I'm telling you, it's better than a Lifetime movie.
Oh,
This
1,000%. This is like, it's Manti Te'o was like the biggest story in my house for like a year. It was awesome.
it's like, where did this come like, why? What?
Well,
The Travis Hunter
apparently she's
girlfriend
been a bitch.
well, she made did you watch the video that she made where she was explaining herself, basically?
I had somebody give me a Cliff's Notes of it. I didn't want to sit there and watch the whole thing.
I watched it all. You didn't miss anything. But I was I kinda started to feel bad for her, and then everything else started emerging as, like, the other guys' videos and all of these
Yeah.
things. So, I haven't heard Travis Hunter come out and say anything else in response to all of that.
I mean, he deactivated his Instagram, so I feel like that's
Honestly,
enough.
smart. I feel bad for him.
I do. I feel awful for him. Like, you just won the Heisman Trophy, and then all of a sudden it comes out that your girlfriend's been cheating on you. Like,
And if that is true, which I don't know, but if that is true, then hopefully he will come to his senses and move on from that.
yeah, it's never worth it to stay with the cheater.
No. Which in
Mm.
her video, she was like, "I would never be with the cheater," because he was DMing her apparently at first whenever he was with someone else. Yeah. You should watch the video.
Yeah. Let me add that to my to-do list.
I'll put that right under schedule my gynecologist appointment.
Yeah, seriously.
All right, I want to talk about Georgia Notre Dame. Why is the game at 8:45?
I do not understand for the life of me why the Rose Bowl doesn't get that 8:45 slot and we get the Rose Bowl slot, because it makes sense for the game in Central Time to kick off at 4 p.m. Central Time, 5 p.m. Eastern, and the game on
Mhm.
the West Coast to kick off at 5:45 West Coast time, 8:45 East Coast time. It does
That would
not make
make
sense to me.
what are you gonna do? Like 9 o'clock? I have to go
I
to
already
Brooklyn
said
today.
that I'm gonna be, like, an hour or 2 late on the second because I'm staying up and watching every second of that game.
I just wanna know who scheduled this. I would like to speak to the manager. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to stay up and watch it all.
Oh,
I
I've
hope
got
to. If
some
not
Alani news over there. I will be.
if not, I'm gonna at least stay up until halftime because I go to bed at, like, 9 o'clock every night because 'cause I'm a grandma. And then, I will finish it the next day, but I don't know, I just hate that time slot. Are y'all going to the game?
Hampton is.
Hampton's going, okay.
Mhm.
That'll
Hampton
be
is,
fun.
if they win, Dad and Hampton are going to the Orange Bowl.
Oh, so fun. I think I'm gonna go to the Orange Bowl too if we win.
I think that ESPN needs to I'm gonna get close to the mic for this. I think
Uh-oh.
that ESPN needs to shut the hell up with the whole, "Oh, we can't, like, Georgia shouldn't let Gunner Stockton pass, like, we don't blah, 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 blah." Like, that is, and also, I'm so sick and tired of all of these, like, "Oh, well, Carson Beck's out for the season." We've known that since the SEC championship game.
No one in Georgia's concerned about that.
No, and I'm so sick and tired of this narrative that, "Oh, Gunner can't throw the ball." He threw for 13,000 yards in high school. Threw for 177 touchdowns. If you average that over, I did all the math last night because I wanted to know all of it so that I could come in with good information. If you average he threw for 13,652 yards in high school. If you average that over 4 years, and we all know he didn't start all 4 years, but a 4-year average, 3,400 yards a season. A 12-game season, he's thrown for almost 300 yards a game. If you divvy that up by 3, he threw for 4,500 yards a season, almost 400 yards a game, averaging 63 touchdowns a year if he were a 4-year starter. I don't want to hear all of this nonsense that Gunner Stockton can't throw and we don't know what we're getting and all this other stuff. The kid's a baller.
The kid is a baller. And I would argue that high school doesn't automatically translate to collegiate success. However, while we've only seen him throw 32 times, he is a 78% passer, which
Thank you.
fantastic. So we have a very limited sample size for his college performance, right? The second half of the SEC championship game, and then a few throws against UMass and Tennessee Tech.
Mhm.
But I
I
do like. Go ahead.
I just, this entire season, all we have heard is, "Oh, if Georgia keeps going with Carson Beck, they're not going to be able to do this, and they're not going to be able to do that." And now all of a sudden Beck is out, and it's, "Oh, well, Georgia's without their starting quarterback." Like, pick a side. I'm sorry, it makes me so mad.
No, get fired up. I love it. We'll get good ratings. uh, yeah, Carson, is injured and he's officially declared for the draft. Do you have any thoughts on that?
War is over. Get gone. I'm
Oh,
sorry, but,
thanks
like,
for everything,
we've got a
Carson.
new
We
starting
appreciate it.
quarterback who, when he gets excited, posts pictures of his cows.
What?
Like, he's just a good old country farm boy that loves his old Ford F-150 and his cows and his mama.
Did
Like,
you see people posting the truck and they're like, "Yes, dog's about 50."
I
There's
love
no
him. I
Lamborghini in
love him
sight.
so much. He's so precious.
I like Georgia's been so inconsistent all year, so it will be interesting to see which team shows up to play Notre Dame, but I do like the kind of renewed sense of energy that we saw at the second half at the end of the SEC championship game. So I hope that that continues over with Gunner. And if so, I think that the Dogs will have a good chance.
I am a huge fan of Tate Ratledge and Brett Thorson's podcast. And like you said, just the energy surrounding this guy, all of the things that his teammates have said about him in the press conferences, like this team is fired up about it. And I feel like there has just been a weird energy around Georgia this season that like I haven't quite been able to put my finger on.
Yeah.
That energy's gone now. I don't feel it anymore. I don't have the pit in my stomach when I think about this game. I'm not worried about what team's going to show up. Like, first of all, the betting lines opened with Notre Dame as the favorite. ESPN is predicting Notre Dame to win. Everybody's saying that Georgia's going to lose. This team is fired up. I have no doubt about what team is going to show up on Saturday. It is going to be a pissed off team that is riding behind their sweet little Rabun County quarterback. And I think they're going to show the hell up and show the hell up.
Rabun County.
I do. I love it.
Georgia's favored by 1.5.
Yes. So the spread is flipped. Yes, Leonard is good. Yes, Notre Dame's D-line is good. But we saw what Georgia can do when they play well against Texas. I am just not concerned at all. I'm not concerned in the slightest. Notre Dame has a few quality wins, but most of the teams that they've played this season, they haven't been that good.
I don't think they've played a team quite like Georgia this season. I am concerned because Riley Leonard is a dual threat quarterback, and Georgia has struggled with that this year. I mean, we saw that with Jalen Milroe and Haynes King. Riley Leonard is a 66% passer, but he also has over 700 rushing yards. And so I am a little concerned about how we fare against that.
I think that having Gunner in that QB1 slot is preparing them a little bit for that because Gunner himself is a dual threat quarterback. Now you've got the team doing reps against a dual threat that they're going to be going up against on the other side. I think that this team is getting better prepared for dual threat quarterbacks than we have been in the past.
Because we have one doing it in practice.
It's just like Stetson Bennett. That's why we were so good against the run game when he was quarterback and why we were so good at protecting the QB rush was because we had Stetson doing reps in practice every day.
I love Stetson Bennett.
No.
And now that your JUCO years don't count anymore.
Day today.
What?
The Philly Dogs had a day today.
Oh, did they? I didn't watch.
Fly, Eagles, fly! No, they beat the Cowboys.
Love their entire defense.
Top spot in their conference, so they get a bye going into the playoffs.
Oh, that's amazing. I'm not a big NFL girly. Like, I'll watch it and cheer for players that I know. So, like, all of the Philadelphia defense. And if, like, you know, of course, like Lad McConkey and people that we have playing, but I'm not just going to sit down and cheer, like, for Kansas City.
Oh, yeah. I love any dog on any team. I will always cheer for them. Philadelphia is my favorite NFL team. I love what they do for kids with autism. I love the dogs on that team. Philadelphia is just such a cute little city. I mean, it's not little by any means, but like it's a cute city. I love Philly. I think they're awesome.
I take it back. My favorite team is the Falcons because I love how much they mess up draft day, and it is so funny to me. I love the reactions. I love everyone getting so mad. I think that is like the funniest thing ever. I hope, I mean, like you just can't make it up, and so
it's comical. I mean, obviously, growing up in Atlanta, like Falcons fan, whatever. But since I started actually paying attention to the NFL, like the Falcons just.
They Falcon.
Yeah.
They're just a dumpster fire and then some.
Bless their hearts. But speaking of dogs in the NFL, Brock Bowers and Lad McConkey both have over 1,000 receiving yards in their rookie seasons. Brock is on track to be the best rookie. I can't remember if it's best rookie tight end ever
talent, and ever since he was a freshman, people were saying, in Athens that he's going to be playing on Sundays, and he is. I wish we still had him.
I know. I miss him so much.
But go do your thing, Brock. We're cheering for you.
So proud. And Lad McConkey, I cried tears of joy. I'm so happy for him.
How can you not love Lad? And he's killing it.
This little thing on this planet. I got to work with him a little bit when I was working for the clothing company that I was working for, and he was always just the sweetest thing. He was like, "Can I help you with anything? Like, do you need help?" And I'm like, "No, just go pose and be cute. I can take the pictures. It's fine."
You were his photographer?
Well, I did some just kind of low-key, laid-back social media shoots. It was never anything professional. We had a professional photographer, but I was doing all the social media stuff behind the scenes.
That's so sweet. Coach Hayes was his football coach in high school.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
we need Coach Hayes to get on here and tell us his favorite Lad story.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's a great idea. And I did talk to him, or no, I haven't talked to him. I will. By the time this episode airs, I will have talked to Coach Hayes and asked him to come on for a summer episode.
We need him on.
I know, we do need him on. He's fantastic. And if you don't follow him at Coach Hayes Huddle, HUDL.
Subscribe to him on YouTube, follow him on Twitter, all of the things. For any of the girls tuning in, he does a great breakdown of games on his YouTube. Kind of like gets into the nitty-gritty of what everything is and what it means. It's fabulous.
He does a great job of film breakdown. And he's easy to listen to, which not everyone is.
1000%. And while we're giving shout outs, huge shout out to Dwight at Dudadog1 on Twitter. He organized 96 gifts for every single child in the Aflac Cancer Center at CHOA this week and delivered it for a little Christmas magic for the kids. He is such an amazing guy. Dwight, I know you're watching this. I love you so much. You're incredible and fantastic.
Good job, Dwight. We love you. I saw that. Didn't your dad and your brother go help?
They did. I wanted to go do it, but I was in the freaking office 2 days before Christmas.
Duty calls.
Yep.
I don't know. But thanks for all the hard work that you do, Dwight. And thanks to everybody that helps out with Bulldogs battling breast cancer.
Yes, we will absolutely do a breast cancer special next season.
Oh, yeah. We'll do a fun October. Yeah, that'll be really fun. We'll have him on and do a little breast cancer. Like, we'll wear pink. It'll be cute.
Oh, yeah. We'll do like some awareness and, women, don't forget to check your boobs.
Yeah. We can be top. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Our ratings will skyrocket. And your dad won't let you podcast with me anymore.
Oh, he's going to get a kick out of that.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, Lord have mercy. I love it.
Okay.
We can be topless. Surprise, everybody.
Surprise. A very exciting episode of Girls Talk Ball.
We're talking about ball busting with our shirts off.
That's on our OnlyFans. This is the wrong platform. Okay.
Oh, Lord have mercy. I could never do anything like that. I get self-conscious enough, like just looking at myself in the mirror.
I'm not above it.
Hey, I'm an ex-fat girl, okay? I still have the body dysmorphia from all of that.
Oh, I have terrible body dysmorphia.
Yeah. No, I still, like, I'll pick something up and it's a large and I'm like, oh, no, I'm a small. Like, it never goes away.
I feel that. Brett Thorson is out. We've talked about that, but I do think it's going to impact this game more than people are talking about.
I don't think that Beck is going to have. I think that Thorson's going to have the bigger impact as opposed to Beck.
I agree with that, and I think people are just kind of glossing over that.
Himself say in the podcast that we are in excellent hands with Miller, and that he's a great kid, and that Brett himself has like worked super close with him. He thinks that we're in great hands. So if Brett says that we're good, I'm going with we're good.
I need to listen to their podcast because I have never sat down to listen to it.
Oh, it's awesome. Mullets on the mic.
Now that's a catchy name.
Yeah, they're adorable.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I'm going to have to go listen tonight.
Yeah, please do. I mean, they gave us a little preview. The guys are feeling great about this game.
I like that. I think that says a lot when your players are really rallying around you and they're excited for you and excited to play with you. I think that just speaks volumes. And where was this energy earlier in the year?
I
It wasn't
like I
here.
there's been a weird energy around it all season, and it has been Carson Beck. And, yes, he threw the 12 interceptions in that month-long span, and, he didn't do as well as he has done in the past, but you could just kind of tell that he is all about himself. I've got the Lambo, I've got the hot girlfriend, I've got the draft stock and, like, all this other stuff, and it's been off for a really long time.
Mhm, mhm. I think sometimes you just need to be hungry, honestly, and
Yep.
I think Gunner's been, patiently waiting on his time to shine, and now it's here, and I think he's ready to go out there and prove himself.
I'm so excited. I am
I'm
so
so excited
excited.
too. I do have a good feeling about this game, and normally I don't. Normally I always pick the other team to win. I'm like the worst. I make everybody so mad because I pick the other team all the time. But give me the dogs for this one.
Oh, yeah. I'm taking dogs. I'm taking dogs by a touchdown. I definitely think it's gonna be a close game because Notre Dame is good. Like, I'll give them that. They are good. Leonard is good. Their D-line is great. Like, they're a good team. I just I think that it's gonna be dogs by 7. Um, and yeah, no, I can always tell literally the morning of the game if we're gonna lose or not. If I wake up gagging, we're gonna lose. If I wake up fine, we're fine.
That's not good, Garrett.
Well, that's the cyclic vomiting talking. When I get nervous and stressed out, my body responds before
I
my
was just
brain
gonna
catches
say,
up.
you're a little, like, nauseous anyway, right?
Oh, 24/7.
Yeah.
Literally constant. I'm literally pulling up the video from me the morning of the Alabama game. Here it is.
I was also throwing up, but for different reasons. We'll just skip over that.
Good morning, everyone. Georgia plays Alabama. I knew the moment I woke up, I was like, "We're about to lose this football game."
We're doomed. Okay, if you wake up nauseous, please call me.
Oh, I will.
I need to know what's gonna happen. I like that you're psychic in that way, though.
You know what? It's paid off because I've been able to, like, mentally prepare myself for it.
Okay, I think that the score is going to be so poetic. I'm saying 17-10.
Oh, I like
I
that.
know.
I like that a lot, actually.
I know.
I'm gonna go 24-17.
Okay,
Mhm.
I like it. This is Georgia's 12th Sugar Bowl appearance, and of course, we all know that they beat Notre Dame on New Year's Day,
1980.
1981 for the
Oh, right,
1980.
right, 1981,
Mhm.
but 1980 season.
Right. I
Yes.
know, I always get when it's, like, the next day, it gets so confusing because 'cause you're like, so we've both got Texas advancing, I've got Ohio State, you've got Oregon?
Yes.
Okay,
But
and
I
then
also had Texas losing to Clemson in the first round, so my bracket's already busted.
Oh, no. Well, I made a last-minute switch and, picked SMU to be the upset, and I was so disappointed in that.
Yeah, no, I picked Penn State. I knew that I wanted it to happen so bad, but I just knew that it wasn't going to.
Kevin Jennings and his 3 picks really, like, did me in that day.
Like, hello, dude. You do realize that your team is the one in white, right?
Like, where did this come from? Why are we doing this today?
It
I
was bless his heart. He had the worst game of his season.
literally, but then, of course, so then you've got all the Alabama fans, like, all up in arms saying that this is why they shouldn't have been in, and we should have been in, and yada yada.
If any team should have been in SMU's place, it should have been the 10-2 Miami Hurricanes.
What she said.
Mhm. You can't lose 3 games in the regular season, 2 of them to point I mean, thankfully, Vanderbilt had a winning season this year, so that kind of takes that off. But Oklahoma lost.
And you didn't even score a touchdown against Oklahoma.
Literally 24-3. Cry about it.
Like, just do better. I don't know. And I'm not a Bama hater, but I am annoyed, not with most casual Bama fans, but with some of like the talking heads who literally won't stop talking about it. We got to move on.
I completely agree. I mean, my roommate graduated from Alabama. My ex-boyfriend went to Alabama. My dad's stepmom's like kids, they're all Alabama fans. So like I have no beef with Alabama fans. I'm just sick and tired of the narrative that still continues to push on that Alabama deserves it more because of this, that, and the other.
Mm-hmm. When we've heard it for years. Maybe next year. We'll see. I'm sure they will get in next year. There's no doubt in my mind.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, I don't think they're going to win in Sanford Stadium. I don't think they're going to win in Sanford Stadium. So I think they're going to go at least 11-1.
That game is going to be insane. And I know that you haven't looked because y'all have a house in Athens. And like, obviously I live here, but like all the hotels are already sold out.
We play Alabama September 27th, Ole Miss October 18th, Texas November 15th.
It'll be a really fun season in Athens.
I'm so excited. We only have 3 true road games next season, which I'm very excited about. We obviously play Florida in Jacksonville and Georgia Tech. We play Georgia Tech in Atlanta next season. So
that's right?
Site game, yes. So we've got 2 neutral site games, 3 true road games. But we've got a great home schedule next season. I am so excited.
Me too. It's going to be a great season. I'm really excited for it. But first, we got to get through this playoffs.
Yay!
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. And then obviously we both took Georgia. We're both taking Penn State. So we'll see what happens.
Yes, we will. I'm
going to
very
be watching. Yeah, I'm going to be watching all day long. I hope the games are interesting. I really do. And I think that they will be.
I really think that the only one that won't be will be Texas, Arizona State.
That's going to be a blowout.
Mm-hmm.
Which one is
it out? Can we talk about the Pop-Tarts Bowl?
Yeah.
I want that game to be a playoff game so bad. The marketing, like whoever is the head of marketing at Pop-Tarts needs tens of thousands of dollars worth of a raise. Like that is one of the it was Iowa State, Miami. Obviously, I was going to watch that game no matter what. Cam Ward, if you're listening to this, you're a bitch. How dare you abandon your team at halftime and then just watch them lose? I don't like that.
Is the most unsportsmanlike thing I can even. How do you get away with that? How are they not beating your ass in the parking lot or the locker room like your own teammates?
That is ridiculous. But
you play with some large Americans. You should be scared. I would never just abandon my team. I don't understand how he could do that. That's a bad look for you going to the NFL. I just don't get it.
I don't understand why his coach would let him do that.
It was probably not a let thing, but I mean, at the end of the day, you can only do so much, you know? Like, he's got his mind made up. He's saying, I'm going to the NFL. I'm going to go make all this money. I think your stock just went down.
Oh, by like a ton. Because, yeah, I mean, Miami was only up 31-28 going into half.
Like, and you quit on your team.
It's absurd. It's absurd. But back to the fun part of it all. The Pop-Tart mascots are incredible. It was so fun to watch. I love that game so much.
Did he give any post-game interviews or anything about that? Like, what was the follow-up there?
I haven't seen any. I've been scouring Twitter to see it. But I'm sure there will be something.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what everyone, like what he says about that. How are you gonna, talk your way out of that?
I don't think he can.
No, you can't. You let your team down.
Tart mascot was like sneaking up behind the ref, and then the ref turned around and he ran away. Like
Oh, that's so cute. They probably had so much fun with that.
Oh my, it was hysterical. I mean, look, and he's like ripping off the foil to
Oh my gosh. The foil. That's so funny.
it is so much fun. I love it.
And football should be fun. That's the point of it, right?
Mhm.
We need to have more games like that are more just lighthearted. And I heard on the radio earlier this week, Coach Rick Neuheisel was saying that whenever his teams would go to a bowl game, he really wanted to make it fun for his guys, right? That's the point. It's supposed to be a reward. It's supposed to be fun. So while there
Yeah.
is all this pressure to win, you also want to enjoy it.
No, you have to. It's, bowl games are meant to be a celebration of your season. And I think outside of the playoffs, if you're not having fun, like I don't like the bowls that are like, this is a serious bowl game. Like I would love to see a big fat wheel of cheese at the Cheez It Bowl.
I love a big wheel of cheese.
Live Gators
Who
on the
doesn't?
field for the Gator Bowl. Bring
Say
out
what?
Pirates for the Gasparilla Bowl. Like, hello.
Do it all.
Yeah, why not? What do you have
Why
to
not?
lose? You
Don't
get
be so
so much
serious.
positive PR for your company if you're doing all of the fun stuff.
People like fun more than like no one wants to hang out with Ryan Day all day. He doesn't look fun at all.
You need to go get your roots touched up, babes.
Are you talking to me?
No, I was talking to Ryan.
Oh.
We did just talk about that earlier, but no, I was talking to Ryan Day. Maybe touch up that mustache tie a little bit.
What is it called? Is it just for men? What is it?
Yeah, just for men. He's got the black box tie sitting under his kitchen sink. He comes home, his wife,
100%.
honey, it's time to touch up your beard.
Get your gloves. But he does have a good team this year. He's got all the playmakers.
He does. He does.
All right.
He's
go
a
ahead.
whiny little bitch.
I don't think he's a leader.
No.
I also think that he has the worst coaching job in America. I think it's just very it's a joyless job.
Yeah, it's you're kind of damned if you do and damned if you don't with Ohio State fans.
Unless you beat Michigan and win the Natty every single year, they're trying to run you out of town. It seems like they're just not happy with you.
Well, and I felt that way. I mean, thankfully this season nobody's really been coming after Kirby all that much. Which thank God none of you idiots have done that. And if you have, you're a moron. But like, it's Georgia hasn't had the season that it's had the last 3 years. And so it's, oh my God, everything's going to shit. We're about to go back to the Mark Richt era.
It's falling, yeah. I haven't really experienced or heard that too much. But it's also like, I mean, you can't win the Natty every single year.
No, you can't.
There's so many great teams. There's not 12 great teams, but there are a lot of great teams.
There are a lot of great teams. And, as much as I would love for us to win our third Natty in 4 years, like that might not happen. And that's okay.
Yeah.
We've still had an incredible season, especially considering all the setbacks that we've faced. But Mike Bobo had the funniest quote in the press conference yesterday. He said, yeah, thank God Drew completed that pitch to Arian, or else y'all would have had 2 Bobos to yell at.
That's so true. Everyone is always calling for Bobo's job.
Well,
he has no peace.
Yeah. I mean, partially for good reason, partially for not.
I am not a Bobo hater because I've been watching Coach Hayes huddle. And so on some of his things, he'll say like, this is the same play that like Todd Monken called, this game, whatever. So like he's doing the same things. And then I've also heard people say, well, he's calling these plays because we have a different skill set than we had a few years ago.
And I do wholeheartedly agree with that. I also think that the predictability that Bobo has is my issue with him. Not so much the play calling, because we do have a very limited level of talent as compared to what we've had in previous years. Kirby Smart literally said himself he's not the most talented team he's coached. But at a certain point, when it is like I could turn on a game from the Mark Richt era and see the exact same sequence of plays being called, it's like, okay, what are we doing here? You know?
All right, guys, we're going to be watching all the games and looking for all of our dog fan friends that are going to be in the stadium on New Year's Day in New Orleans. So drink lots for us and be careful in New Orleans, please.
Yes, please don't step on any dirty needles in Bourbon Street, and don't let the boa constrictor wrap itself around your neck too tight.
Did that happen to you?
Oh no, I was supposed to go to New Orleans for my first ever frat formal, and it was the week after the world shut down. So I never got to go to New Orleans.
I've never been either. Maybe one day.
Hey, we can go next time Georgia goes to the Sugar Bowl. We'll go because we're going to do Ole Miss this year, and then we'll do next time the Dogs go to the Sugar Bowl. We'll do that.
Till next week.
We'll see y'all next week.
Bye, everyone.